On Saturday, I published my final book, Ageless From Within, which is now available in a paperback copy to purchase via Amazon. But today, I'm going to read you a chapter from my Autoimmune Uncovered book, which is a chapter that is connected to Ageless From Within, because today it's about sirtuins and autoimmunity. So sirtuins are in my new book, Ageless From Within, which I've gone into greater detail about because they are our longevity switches. So we have Cert 1 to Cert 7. I've gone into more detail in that book if you want to read it. It's out now. It's exciting. So these are your body's longevity switches. Tiny enzymes that respond to your NAD levels, and they decide how your cells repair your DNA, reduce inflammation, produce energy, detox, and age. When your sirtuins are activated, your immune system becomes calmer, more intelligent, more tolerant, and more intelligent. When they're low, inflammation rises and autoimmune symptoms flare. So in my Ageless Within method, sirtuins are the missing link between longevity, detox, and immune harmony. They act as cellular guardians, repairing our DNA, strengthening our mitochondria, and calming the inflammatory pathways that drive autoimmune disease. When sirtuins are activated through NAD support, detoxification, an anti-inflammatory diet, and nervous system healing, the immune system becomes less reactive and more tolerant. Autoimmunity begins to soften, not through suppression, but through restoring the body's natural intelligence. Now, in my new book, Ageless From Within, I've covered more about Cert 1 to Cert 7 in the diet and the foods that you should be eating. But in this book, Autoimmune Uncovered, I have touched on the subject for autoimmune because we need to boost the sirtuins. So how do you raise your NAD naturally? We need our circadian rhythm. So ideally, we need to be, getting up with sunlight and seeing the sunrise. Not great if you live in the UK, but we have got a summer right now, yeah? Some fasting windows. So yes, fast. I prefer to do mine on a night time so that I have the time while I'm asleep to morning as well to fast. I usually fast just for about 8 hours because of my low thyroid. I don't want to be doing too much fasting because it's not good for my hormones. Deep hydration. And that doesn't just come from water, it also comes from your electrolytes, so the coconut water, and your fruit. So remember, fruit is hydration. Watermelon, really, really hydrating. Cucumbers are really hydrating. You really want to be consuming high water from your fruit. And I've covered that in my new book, Ageless From Within as well. So make sure you're eating your water, not just drinking it, and minerals as well. You've got to have minerals. Again, that's covered in my new book, Ageless From Within. Where do you get your minerals from? Ideally, sugar is not good for you, so that's going to not be good for anyone with autoimmune. I don't consume sugar. Low alcohol, I don't drink myself anymore. No alcohol. Daily movement for your mitochondria. Of course, I'm a Pilates and yoga instructor and a bar instructor too, so daily movement is my life. But we also don't want to be doing too much because that can lead to burnout. So we've got to find that balance. That's why I teach Pilates and yoga, so that we're focusing more on our breath to calm down our nervous system and heal it. And then if you wanted to, which many people are, is take your NAD boosters, which you have your NMN, you have NR, and you have the Shilajit and the Fulvic for your minerals, which I really love as well. That I do notice that I have more energy when I take them. These can be layered in depending on the client's detox status. So I work with one-to-one clients on this. So this is what I would do with the client. So the autoimmune foods that I've covered here, just in a brief. You've got more, again, I've got my recipe book, Health Empowerment, which is the book that I use for my own autoimmune. But just to give you a general idea, it's anti-inflammatory food. So you need to be consuming your berries, all of them, the raspberries, the blueberries, the blackberries, strawberries, ideally organic, because we know they're full of pesticides and everything else that aren't good. Your matcha tea, grapes, and any other resveratrol-rich foods. Dark leafy greens, obviously greens, cruciferous vegetables, and your turmeric and your black pepper, and omega-3 rich foods. That's just an idea. These gently activate your Cert 1 and reduce the inflammatory pathways. So if you have an autoimmune disease and you're interested in reading my book, Autoimmune Uncovered, This book is on Amazon in paperback only. So it's Autoimmune Uncovered, Healing Chronic Inflammation, Gut Health and DNA Repair. So paperback, just a short book on why you have an autoimmune, how to help reverse an autoimmune. And I will tell you this from my honest experience, guys, it's not easy, and it is just daily work that you have to commit to for your autoimmune. You've got to commit to it. That's why I do detox. That's why I teach yoga. That's why I teach Pilates, bar. I'm focusing on my nervous system, healing it, focusing on that anti-inflammatory diet. It's work. If you want to work on yourself and heal, you can, but it takes commitment and dedication and a lot of patience on yourself, and a lot of love and a lot of self-respect to yourself as well. Self-love, self-compassion, because healing takes time.